Hi, my name's Rachel, and today I'm going to be doing my November 2019 wrap-up. So I already took a picture to use as a thumbnail for this video, which obviously you can see. And there were physical copies of books in that picture. That picture was a lie, it was clickbait. I don't have any physical copies to show you. Everything I read was via reading from my phone. I read 2 ebooks, 1 audiobook, and a graphic novel on my phone. So an e-graphic novel. Okay, so the first thing I read was 1,000 Fires by Shannon Price, which I gave 1.5 stars. It was horrible. It was really bad. I did a full review on it, which I will link down below. It's just not good. It's about a alternate version of San Francisco where there's like a bunch of gang wars, and it's about gentrification, but mostly it's just about a girl doing a bunch of nonsense that doesn't make sense, getting involved with gangs for reasons that don't make sense because her brother got killed for reasons that don't make sense. It's just a whole lot of nonsense. The main love interest was a jackass. I hated that character. It just had a lot of problems and I really did not enjoy it. More information is in my review, and as I said, it's linked down below, but I don't recommend reading it. I especially don't recommend reading it if you struggle with self-harm. The next thing I read was Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell, and that was 5 stars. So cute. I've never read anything else by Rainbow Rowell, and I know that there's a lot of issues with her book Eleanor and Park. I've never read that. This is the only thing I've read, and it was delightful. I loved it. So it's about 2 co-workers at a pumpkin patch, and it's their last night of working together at this pumpkin patch because the season is ending, and they've been friends that work together every year at this pumpkin patch, and there's just so much cuteness. Like, there's so much food, and they have like a really cute friendship, and I just loved it so much. So they're just like running around eating all the different foods, trying to find this girl that the one character has a crush on so he can finally tell her how he feels about her. It was adorable. 5 out of 5. It was really the perfect book I read it, I want to say like November 1st or November 2nd. It was like right after Halloween, and it was the perfect like end of Halloween season book to read. The next thing I read was Murder Trending by Gretchen McNeil, and I read this because it was the library book pick for book club. I go to a book club that's for adults who love YA books, and I only gave the book itself 2.5 stars. It wasn't great, but I had really good conversations about like the justice system at book club because of this book, so I really appreciated the conversations that we had because of the book. It's about a girl who wakes up and realizes she's on Alcatraz 2.0, which is the place they now send convicted murderers, and the convicted murderers on death row get hunted and killed by serial killers. Very interesting, dramatic serial killers that are kind of goofy. But the twist is that she did not kill the person that they said she killed. She is innocent, and previous to all of this, when she was younger, she had been kidnapped by a crazy person, and that kind of comes into play. So it had an interesting premise, but it didn't do well on execution. I never felt like I really got to know the characters. It just kind of felt very surface level and kind of goofy at times. I think that it would make a really funny movie on like Netflix. But it's definitely not the worst thing I've ever read, and it definitely wasn't as bad as 1,000 Fires. Because we had such good conversation because of the book, I rate it higher. I just really appreciated like what came out of reading it. So the next and final thing I read, which, yikes, I don't think I'm going to make my GoodReads goal this year, was City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. And it's the first in the Daevabad trilogy. It's about a con woman in Cairo who accidentally summons a warrior and finds out that she is the descendant of... It's really complicated. Sometimes it lost me a few times, and that's why I did not rate it 5 stars. I rated it 3.75 stars. Almost 4. Like, it's so close to being 4. But it lost me a few times because I just felt like the backstory and the terms I just kept like forgetting, and it just wasn't staying with me, and I'm not sure why. I've never had that problem before. I think it was because I read it on audiobook, and I think it's because I wasn't sure how things were spelled. It's hard for me to remember things when I don't see them, like actually see them with my eyeballs. That caused me to have some issues with not remembering things and mixing up one term with another, like Deva versus Jin versus Ifrit. I just kept forgetting which was which and why. So the warrior ends up taking her to the city of her ancestors, which is Devabad. And it's really interesting. There was a lot of political machinations and interesting characters and interesting like mythical creatures, and I really loved the setting. It was just a really beautiful book, and you feel like you're there while you're reading it. It just was the problem of not fully remembering everything. It wasn't absorbing as well as I would have liked. But I think, like I said, that's because I did the audiobook. So when I go to the next book, which is already out and it's called The Kingdom of Copper, I think I'm going to switch to physical copy. No, probably ebook. Physical copies. Who am I kidding? When do I ever read physical copy? That way I can actually see the words and remember it. So that's everything I read this month. Comment down below if you've read any of these. Let me know what you are reading, and let me know if you're making your GoodReads goal, because I am sure as hell not making mine. My goal was 100, and then stuff happened in March with my son going to the NICU, and it went down to 70, and now it's yikes. I'm at 59 books. I don't think I can read 10 books in December, so I could read graphic novels. That would work. Maybe I'll do that. Okay. That's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!